Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to spot clean a rat enclosure. Please keep in mind that I am a first time rat owner that just got these lovely guys about 2 weeks ago. So you can see that the cage is not maximalist at all yet. That is a work in progress, and at some point at the end of this week, this is going to be full of extra enrichment, so please keep that in mind. But I'm still going to show you the whole process of spot cleaning from start to finish, which I do every morning. Okay, so first off, I'll come over and open up my rat enclosure home. Hi guys! They're super friendly even though I haven't had them very long. This is Orinoco, and then this is Bungo. So this won't be the case for all rats, but something to know particularly about mine is that because they're so friendly, they end up wanting to come out quite easily like this. And it's up to you as a rat owner if you want to get them out during the rat cleaning process or if you want to keep them in. Because they have quite vulnerable respiratory issues, I actually like to take mine out because I'll be moving around a lot of bedding and potentially a lot of dust that's been sitting, so I like to put them in a little carrier, which we'll do now. So before I pop them in, I've just lined the base with some seeds and some white roll, and that way I know that there's something to absorb any spotting, and then they've got something to do just whilst I clean out their home. This is them climbing into their home, straight from the cage. And there they are, very happy, just nibbling whilst I clean up the home. I'm just going to pop the lid on. So these are the basics for me to help spot clean. A pet safe cleaner, a scooper, but I normally use my hands, a nice eco bag where I can put any soiled bedding to put in the bin after, water wipes. These are not normal baby wipes, not even just the normal sensitive ones. These are 99.9% water with the other small percentage being fruit extract. So this is really important. If you are going to use baby wipes, don't use the usual sensitive baby wipes because that is not safe enough for the enclosure. And then we've also got some classic white roll. These are basically the main things I rely on. So when spot cleaning, it is good to know that this is not a full enclosure clean out. For that, I'd probably take the whole cage off, sort out the base, put in new bedding, take out all the hammocks, wash those, put in new hammocks. That is not what this is. This is just the spot cleaning in between the week before I do that. So this consists of picking up any droppings in the bedding, putting them in the litter tray and some in the bin. I am currently litter training at the moment, so that is why I'm not putting away all the little poops straight into the bin. And it also consists of taking out anything that's unsafe or too soiled and then replacing that as well. The main thing with spot cleaning for me is removing any urine to reduce any ammonia. So that means doing a deep clean of the platforms every day with some spray and then cleaning out the wool bedding underneath the house because they seem to wee there as well. Yeah, let's have a look. So I'm going to start by going in and removing anything that might get in the way of me doing a clear spot clean. So that will consist of me removing their dig bowl. I'll just place that on top of the enclosure for now. It's also been quite hot recently, so they had tiles to lay on. It's no longer hot, so I'm going to remove these. Now, annoyingly, because I'm not removing the main cage, I do have to do a lot of arm actions like this, but it's not the end of the world and it still makes the job possible. When I spot clean, I also like to change up the enrichment for the day, so this will be going out and I'll be putting something in at the end. Okay, so before I start on the bedding, I have to remove this wooden house every single day. It doesn't need to come out, but it just needs to be moved somewhere so I can focus on removing this lovely white tissue wool bedding. It's not cotton wool, it's a safe tissue wool that is safe for rats with respiratory problems or any rats, and I'm going to remove any that smells bad or is wet. Some days I don't have to remove very much, but today I had to remove at least half of it. You can see some of it's not wet, but it has been soaked by another piece that's attached and I just don't want to take any risks. So that's what we've got rid of today. I've moved the bedding to the side in the left here that I can save, and then you can see that is the messiest area right there. So this is a scenario up to preference. You can go in with a scooper and clear out the soiled wet litter and poops, or you can use your hand. I know I'm going to wash my hands after this and that it's safe, so that's what I'm going to go in with. I'm not removing the whole bedding, I'm just removing this whole section corner here where the soiled bedding has been sitting. Okay, so now you can see I've done a really thin layer of litter there. That's because the bedding is actually going to be this at the bottom there. Everywhere else needs to have thick bedding, but I don't need to add any more litter there. It's just purely to absorb any urine that drops from this. So I've gone in with some new fresh paper wool, and I'm going to put the house back on top of that. Don't worry about getting it neat. They'll do their own thing. They'll decorate and move lots of it about to get comfy. So now the house is in, the next stage is spot cleaning. I'm going to go in with my hands, but again you can use a scooper, and I'm going to pick up any of the dried poops, pop them in the litter tray. Then I'll go through the litter tray, take off the first layer and pop that in the bin, maybe keeping a few pellets just to make sure that I am litter training them as they are new rats. Okay, so now I have cleaned all of the base, all the pellets are out. That is just bedding. One thing to note with rat cages is that they're never going to look clean. This is a good environment for a rat. You don't want it to look super neat because then they can dig through everything. But next, all of the pellets that I picked up, I'm going to remove from the litter tray. I'm going to remove the tile. They have that to litter train for urine, so I'm going to give that a rinse, put that back dry in here, and then keep a few pellets for the rats. Okay, so now I've removed enough of the pellets that I'm happy with. I'm just mixing up the base of the litter tray to air out and let anything dry. Any wet patches that I see I will remove. There's no point keeping those in. It's relatively dry for now as new litter. And then I'll tuck that back in the corner there. What's good to note with the whole bedding is if it doesn't look thick enough, add more anyway. But this is a very fresh litter that has just been added. Okay, so now I've added back a dig bowl with some enrichment in for them to grab, and then I've added the tile back into the litter tray to keep the litter training up. Next, I'm going up to the higher platforms. I'm going to spray these with pet safe spray, making sure the plastic is completely clean. That's the only downside to plastic. Normally I'll add in a fleece blanket. It also helps with respiratory issues, but it's far too hot for that at the moment, so they actually like laying on these. I will make sure I move up the seagrass mats, clean underneath that on the platform too, and then I'll remove the ramp, go on to the second platform, and then remove this ramp, clean the ramp. Cleaning all the plastic essentially with a safe spray and maybe wiping it down with a baby wipe if it needs the extra clean too. I'm just going to film this from out the enclosure so you can see what I do. Just 2 sprays on the top, wipe that with tissue, maybe a baby wipe if needed. This is why it's important to also remove the rats if you're doing this process, because you can't just spray in their home with them around. Okay, so we're nearly there. I've cleaned the ramps and the platforms. They look much cleaner and they're all dry, which is most important. Be sure to remove any old food that you see throughout the enclosure as well. And now I'm just going to sort out this bit here. So I'm just going to remove any old food hiding under here because they like to forage and bury it. And then I'm going to remove any dust from the hammock if needed, but it doesn't look too bad today. So now that I've sorted the top area, it's time to scatter some new enrichment everywhere, making sure there's something on each layer and some challenges. So I'm going to add in their logs, maybe a couple of treats, but you don't want to overfeed on treats. It's better to have other kinds of enrichment instead. Okay, so I've added in 3 cardboard parcels that are full of food, and then I'm going in, I've scattered some of their rat nuggets over here. I love to put some in this seagrass tunnel because it's a little bit more of a challenge. Some on this seagrass mat so they can snuffle and find it. And then I'll do another handful, some on the apple hidden back here, and then some in the tunnel, and then some on top of the house as well. Once I've gone in with the rat nuggets, which is their main diet, I'll also add in some seeds. I don't want to use too many of these, so in terms of rat nuggets, I'll do a big handful, and then with seeds I'll do a pinch to scatter. Okay, and then that is the spot clean for the day. We've also got a puzzle ball down at the bottom with another willow ball down there, and then the parcels hidden throughout. The last thing I'll do before finishing my clean is change both waters. I've got a glass one on the left and a plastic one that I'm looking to change just at the back on the right. So I'll change those, and then the rat enclosure is safe to put the rats back in. Okay, and now it's time to put some very excited rats back in their home. And then I'm just going to finish it off with a mealworm each to thank them for waiting for a nice clean home. Fungi! Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in another video.